Let's talk Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. It's a strange name for what's looking to be a strange game. So the trailer's out, and we got a release date. So I first saw this pop up on Twitter, and I was like, oh, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Sort of like fourth dimensional in a way. And I watched the trailer, and what this looks to be is it looks like an answer to not just a first person modern warfare genre, but it looks like this is Infinity Ward's sort of response to like space exploration games and the hype of like No Man's Sky that's coming out on PS4, but like also like Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen. Now I'm not sure that like Infinity Ward saw the huge amounts of money that Star Citizen is raking in without it even being released yet, and said, you know what, we want some of that market. We want some of that space shooter market with some first-person shooter integration of our series, and said, we want to do that. But that's what this looks to be. When I saw the trailer, I was sort of like, all right, it looks like, the Advanced Warfare a little bit. They have these suits, you can jump around a little bit. But then it's like you have these space hover ships, almost like those ships you see like in those Avengers movies. They're like planes, but like 30, 40 years in the future, that maybe can fly into space, or something you'd see in Starship Troopers. And that's what you see here. It's very interesting. Very interesting. It's very bold to make that move. I mean, because they jumped from, remember the original, few Call of Duties were World War II, right? Call of Duty 4 was Modern Warfare. Then you have a few of those puppies. And then you go straight to Advanced Warfare, which is like jumping around with like Iron Man tech, basically. And then you come out with a trailer that looks like it's okay, starting off. Oh, then it's like an alien invasion. Then you find out it's not an alien invasion. It's like it's like an Earth defense force that turns against the humans or something and wants to take over, but they are humans. Not really sure what the full story is, but it's interesting that they feel the need to go in this direction versus staying literally grounded on the Earth and doing, okay, we can go a little more advanced with our, Iron Man tech, like the exoskeleton suits, which they are developing the military to enable you to be stronger and to jump, like 20, 30 feet in the air. Yeah, but then like halfway through the trailer, they take off and fly into space. And it's like, holy shit, this is Elite Dangerous. Now, obviously, there are games like in this genre, whether it's Battlefield or, Star Wars Battlefront, where, you can fly around and be on the ground. So it's not like this is totally foreign. But yeah, but in the trailer, it's a space battle. It's a space battle with ships that you can fly, and lasers coming at you, big motherships and small planes, and then they show scenes outside the ships that are like blown up, and you're in zero gravity, and you're ready to fly into space, grabbing onto parts of ships to stay in there. So it still has that sort of cinematic tone to it, but again, in space. So it'll be interesting to see how the COD fans respond to this. And so far, it hasn't been good, especially on YouTube. The trailer came out May 2nd, and more than half, I'd say it's a good 55%, maybe 60%, are thumbs down versus thumb up. So maybe this was a bridge too far. Bridge too far for Infinity Ward. I almost said Infinity War. Well, Infinity Warfare, Infinity Ward. Yeah, maybe they realize, hey, we'll just take our name and make it the next Call of Duty sequel. I think, like I said, it's bold because if you want to do a space shooter game, they're out there. Elite Dangerous, Star Citizen, which Star Citizen is going to incorporate first-person shooter aspects, which probably won't be as polished as, the Call of Duty franchise, which has been around for 15 years. Not saying that, more than 15 years. But it might turn off people that just want the good old, I want my M4 carbine. I want to throw grenades, flashbangs, and maybe have drone strikes as my big tech. Maybe that's where I'm going to stop. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. Did Advanced Warfare, did that sort of meet expectations? Do that well? Did the whole Kevin Spacey thing work out? Or did Infinity Ward make a big miscalculation because they didn't realize that probably all the teenagers that bought Call of Duty Advanced Warfare probably didn't know who the hell Kevin Spacey was. I hate to say it. And that came out, what, like a year ago? 2 years ago? What are these, every 2 years, these Call of Duty games? Yeah, November 4th, 2014. So you're looking at, holy crap. This is coming out 2 years later. Every 2 years you have a Call of Duty game, not counting Black Ops. And this is where you're at. They're probably seeing, I know the sales keep going down, but, it's like the Madden franchise. I always said, you got to keep pumping these out. Let's not wait 3 years even for a new one. Every 2 years. What's the next one going to be after that? Fighting aliens? You're going to make that next jump? Call of Duty, Galaxy Warfare? Is that the... Or no, well, actually, yeah. After Infinite, what's after Infinite? Yeah, you can't even go to the Galaxy. Infinite's like everything. Why do they call it Infinite Warfare? They should just call it like Subspace Warfare. Because you sort of boxed yourself in here. Infinity Warfare Ward. That's going to bother me. I've already flubbed it like 8 times, and I still don't know what's going on. Man. It'll sell a ton, but so far I guess people just want to go back to, just grounded warfare. Like, what's happening now? Or maybe, what if you went, not even World War II, go back to there. Can you go like, I don't know, Call of Duty Revolutionary War? Call of Duty Civil War? Is there an interest in that? Call of Duty Peloponnesian War? Going back thousands of years, the Greeks fighting and stuff. Call of Duty Roman Warfare? I'd be on board with that. Then again, you have like games like Rome Total War. But you know what I'm saying. Just like switch it up. The melee weapons or bows and arrows. Call of Duty, I don't know, Shogun or something. You're in feudal Japan. There's got to be something else out there. I know people love their guns and their sniping and stuff. There's got to be somewhere else they can go without feeling the need to shoot it into space and go not just advanced warfare we won't probably see in all of our lifetimes. Unless, that eugenics stuff works out. And, or, eugenics. And you take these pills and you live forever. And then become depressed like Connor McLeod and live to be, 500 years old before you're put into a really bad sequel with the TV star and piss Pat off. What? Okay, we're done with this topic.